Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Crashers podcast, a podcast where we discuss our thoughts on gaming news. I am Angelus de Mortiel, together with Kev the Gamer.
Windows 10 won!
I have never heard that statement before in my life, and Deathshroud09, who is enjoying some Bobby.
Yeah. Very, very good.
I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about the Windows 10 conference tonight.
Well, we're going to be talking about pretty much everything tonight. So we're essentially...
I don't.
Yeah, that's because you don't bother to ever check the notes or even read any of the chat where we discuss what we're actually going to be doing. Thanks, Travis, for the help.
I agree with you with the chat, but I do usually read the notes nowadays.
So in any case, so we're essentially we're going to recap E3. Yes, we covered E3 live in two stints on Sunday. However, we missed Monday, which of course, as anybody that was paying attention, that is when the most of every fucking thing happened. So
that was when it became amazing.
Yeah, because
so I don't know what happened.
So essentially, you had your we covered the EA and the Bethesda conference, and we'll get to that in a moment. Right. We'll recap what we covered Sunday briefly, and then we'll get into what we didn't cover, which was a lot of it. By the way, in your notes, gentlemen, there's a link to a nice, pretty done up of what games were announced. If you actually read,
reading, go into the notes right now. I'm doing it.
Yeah, but
I'm trying. I'm looking at the. Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
I see E3's biggest gripes. I see nothing about games. Nothing about games.
I don't know what the hell game you're even looking at. But in any case, so here's the thing. Before we get to that, though, people might have played video games. Kev, have you played any new video games this week?
Nah. Overwatch is live. Fallout 4 is becoming my most played. It's become my second most played game on Steam. After Watch Dogs, I think I put like 60 hours on Watch Dogs. You can see I don't.
Here's the comedy. I just want to throw this out there. Here's the comedy. What game have you played more of than all your Steam games?
Several of them. I know what you're getting at. I know what you're trying to get me to say.
You don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit it.
I don't. No, I love Dragon Age. I play Dragon Age Inquisition more than anything in my Steam library. I have no problem saying that.
Most people would say that this is because he's a huge fan of Dragon Age, which he is. But that's not it. It's because he has ADD and never plays any one game for more than 5 minutes. Except for Overwatch. You've been playing Overwatch quite a bit. So.
I have like 35, maybe 36 hours into Overwatch. I have 162 hours in Mass Effect 3 on PC.
All right, you guys go talk about Overwatch while I watch game trailers.
Oh gosh! So
Overwatch is life.
He's gonna have to recap pretty much all the shit that he missed because he hasn't been paying attention at all since Sunday.
I am recapping you viewers. I am sitting right next.
What I would say, Travis, look at the titles.
Yeah,
and we can fill you in here and there because otherwise you're going to be there, especially when you get to the Sony conference because Sony killed you.
There's so much.
Sony went like 50 minutes straight of exclusives. Really?
Well, no. Not all. They're not all exclusives, but there was definitely some bombshells and.
Yeah, the whole Sony conference wasn't, but it was about 45, 50 minutes straight.
Yeah, exclusives. And they were locking it down there. It was actually pretty intense, and it was actually great.
If you saw Twitter during this, like the high profile Xbox fanboys on YouTube, oh man, they were having a meltdown. They were over here trying to downplay everything. It was great.
Like. All I heard was like all the hashtag read us ass, or
they were trying damage control. They were trying to say, but all those games are in development. We don't have release dates. I'm like, that's what Microsoft did last year. Hell, Microsoft showed a lot of the same games from last year.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. But and obviously, Kev and I have been playing a lot of Overwatch. Anybody watching my channel or his channel, he's been playing Overwatch shit on his channel for the past little week. And I say shit because actually that's how he plays. He's horrible at Overwatch. It's kind of depressing, really.
That's true.
I'm just kidding. But no. Yeah, so obviously we've been playing a lot of Overwatch. That's pretty much it because it's been E3 and then Overwatch, and that's it.
I've been playing. I picked up on StarCraft this
Yeah.
weekend.
So you
So I've been
you were
playing
playing StarCraft. That's StarCraft 2.
that.
That's like takes people back, right?
Mhm.
Because I thought the only people that played StarCraft
What?
were Koreans.
I don't know. I'm playing the campaign right now. Campaign's decent. I just like the idea of like amassing this huge army
hmm
and just going over to somebody's base and just destroying it. That's great.
Yeah. So real quick though, let's go ahead and since we're gonna be kind of rapid firing through things, well, at least at first, let's go ahead and kind of cover though the recap of last week of what we already covered with.
Should we just go from worst to best?
Well, no, I'm just gonna go down a list. I'm gonna
EA.
go down a
Well, actually, let's start at
chronological
Ubisoft.
list of
Ubisoft was god awful.
So we had, well, we'll get to that. We didn't cover that one. We only covered EA and we only covered Bethesda. So let's get that out of the way first. So we had EA with Titanfall 2, Mass Effect Andromeda, blah blah blah. Nobody cares about Madden or FIFA, which took up the majority of the fucking conference. Then we had FE or Faye, not sure which. Then a bunch of Star Wars amalgamation that we're not really sure who's doing what. And then Battlefield 1. So, of those, we already knew about Battlefield 1. We already knew about Mass Effect Andromeda, so those weren't, like, shocking announcements.
Well, we knew about Titanfall.
We knew about Titanfall 2. So it was like they didn't really give us a whole lot new. FE was interesting. Essentially, as I call it, Star Wars Uncharted.
Yeah, like those 3 Star Wars games, we knew those were coming too.
Well, yeah.
EA, they sent like B-level work this year.
Yeah,
they sent the B team.
They didn't surprise us with anything. They barely even teased with like a little monicum of Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay. Like you could barely even call it gameplay. So that part I was a bit irked with because I'm like, come on, you guys have had at least some amount of time to at least give us something. And
they've been working on the game for years.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for them taking their time and making sure the game is done right and the game is gorgeous and it's smooth and all that stuff. I'm good with that. But at least give us an idea of what it's looking like so far, because let's be honest, when you look at like even the Xbox, the Microsoft and the Sony conferences, even though Sony obviously was the best one, what was that? Gameplay. Like, here's a trailer, but then there's more gameplay. They knew exactly what people want. People want to see what the games look like. There was a few cases where that was okay not having gameplay, and we'll get to that for the Bethesda part. But that was my biggest gripe. Is Andromeda, they kind of teased nothing. They really gave us nothing. Oh, we know
it
what
was
the
like
ship's
last
called.
year. It was basic. They showed us the ship too. I
Yeah,
you
the
tweeted
Tempest.
It out.
Yeah, they showed us the Tempest.
The ship is gorgeous, though it kind of looks like a modded out Normandy.
But
I still think it's gorgeous.
It's longer, it's skinnier, but yes, it has a very it's an Alliance design, right? It's very obviously Alliance design.
Yeah, but the Turians designed the Normandy.
No, they helped. The Normandy was a Turian engineering, but Alliance. Well, I guess they both had kind of a hand in it, because if you see Turian and Alliance ships, neither of them are really smooth and sleek looking like the Normandy. That was the kind of really strange part about it to me, because usually the smooth and sleek ships are Asari or those other guys, the lizard people, salamanders.
Solarians.
Salamanders.
I don't think I ever caught any of the Solarian ships.
Oh, you see, I think one, and it's landed.
Oh, the Geth ships. I thought the Geth ships.
No, not Geth.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, Geth ships. Those are smooth and sleek. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to be in a Geth ship. There's no windows. There's no point.
Oh no, I don't want to be in one. They're gorgeous, but AIs don't need windows.
Yeah, they don't need windows. So, and they also don't need heaters. So it's
or oxygen for that matter.
Yeah, so it tends to be very inhospitable for anything that's not a robot in there. Quarian ships kind of look like a beater,
as they should. Let's face it, the Quarians are the homeless people of the Mass Effect universe.
Yeah, but so we got to see the Tempest, which, like you said, it definitely has some influence from the Normandy. we got to see like little hints of, ooh, this is how we're designing something, and that's really it. And
Right. I do like that they're using the Frostbite 3 engine,
yeah, well,
and
no,
I do think
yeah,
it looks quite a bit better than the old games, which obviously it should on new hardware, new engine.
yeah.
But it makes me wonder, how good is it going to look, especially when we saw Dragon Age Inquisition.
Well,
Dragon Age
yeah.
Inquisition looked great.
Well, Dragon Age Inquisition looked good for the most part. The problems I had is that there was some jankiness, some I guess you could say gaps because it was the first time working with Frostbite. And secondly,
Well, yeah,
more
Battlefield
important,
4.
but that wasn't BioWare. That was
Oh,
Dice.
when you said
Dice developed the engine. Dice developed that Frostbite engine, so that's their baby. They know they know it in and out.
I thought you were meaning the first game that came out with. I was like, no, Battlefield 4 is
No,
Frostbite.
no. Yeah, that's the thing. So Frostbite is Dice's baby,
Right.
and it's becoming EA's baby. As you're noticing more games getting tossed around with that, like Dragon Age Inquisition, like Andromeda, are going to.
Battlefront was too.
Yeah, Battlefront also had it, and they look great. But I have a feeling there might be some difficulty in working with it or difficulty in optimizing it, because I'm noticing a lot of those games do have some decent hardware requirements to them, and they tend to really quickly go steeply downhill if you don't have the minimum specs, right? So
Right.
I feel like it's a very bloated engine, if that makes any sense.
Well, let me ask you this, because I didn't have any issues when I had my 750 Ti. I didn't have any issues. My 970 obviously doesn't have any issue, but I know you have that 650 Ti still.
650 Ti boost, yeah. And like I said, that guy's pretty much a 660, and it runs pretty much like a 660. But
I would imagine though that it's probably giving you some issues because that was kind of considered a low end car by today's standards.
well, I mean, by the time Inquisition came out, right? That was the end of the 7 series, the beginning of the 9 series. So it was like it was already long outdated by then, and it was already low end whenever it came out. So, and while I can run the game pretty smoothly, I can get 60 frames for the most part. But if you get too many effects going on in there, it tanks pretty quickly. Which, especially when you're running some of the characters on there, like that Cerebas, I'm surprised did not crash my game. Because
Speaking of crashing, rest in peace to my 1080p display. I was using it as a second monitor, and it crapped out on me while I was playing Fallout 4 today.
That's unfortunate. But so, in any case, on the EA conference, we were kind of disappointed by Andromeda, but Titanfall 2, I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about the whole sentient Titans. Like, that was kind of a little weird to me.
The Titan drop kicked someone, dude.
Yeah,
that's weird as fuck.
Titans drop kicking things. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But that Fee looked great. I love, even though I'm kind of, it's now becoming a very depressing trend that they bring out these shaky Swedish, like nerve-wracked Swedish developers from some tiny little studio. They go and find the most nervous guy in the world, and they're like, "You're gonna talk in front of 50,000 people. Have a nice day, bitch."
Because none of them want to do it. Hey, new guy, you just graduated last month. Come on, we're gonna put you in front of the world. You get to go to E3.
Yeah, like literally, I think they literally go out in the search for these guys that are very, and it's because of what was that game, Unravel. Because of how much of comments people got about that guy. Like, oh, he's so cute. Everybody was talking about how cute that guy was. They literally copy and pasted that same fucking dude. Come on, EA. Come on. Stop being a corporate clown.
Hey, don't say that. They might delay Mass Effect again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Be nice to EA. Be nice.
But the
we
game,
don't want any more Mass Effect.
The game looks fucking awesome. I am looking forward to checking out Fee, because Unravel was awesome too. So those indie games are pretty cool. The Star Wars Uncharted, I'm calling it that. They're not actually called Star Wars Uncharted. I just know that, first of all, it's got one of the writers from the Uncharted series on there. And then second of all, when they showed the little brief glimpse of the game, it looked like an Uncharted game, but set in the Star Wars universe. So,
What, did you have to do any climbing?
I don't know. They didn't show enough of that.
Nathan Drake climbs a lot of things.
He's got that little grappling hook now, so
Oh yeah, I'm thinking in the first games especially. He was kind of James Bond and he was kind of Geralt. And
Yeah, and then of course Battlefield 1, which everybody's looking forward to because I don't really know why. I guess they want to get back to
Battlefield One.
the
Battlefield was
old
great.
days of Battlefield. I think is what it is. Is they're trying to get back, reclaim that lost glory of Battlefield
No,
1942.
I don't think that's what it is. I think especially because this particular console generation, all of the shooters have been the super sci-fi power games. You look at like Black Ops 3, you look at Destiny.
Advanced
They've all
Warfare and
Advanced Warfare,
yeah,
yeah, they've all been games like that. So in
it,
particular, the Call of Duty community has been screaming boots on the ground. We don't want people flying around. We don't want people with magical powers. We want to go back. People have been saying, "Hey, we wouldn't mind going back to World War games."
and Infinite
And guys
Warfare.
said, "Hey, let's do it."
Infinite
Infinite
Warfare
Warfare,
take us a step even further with
where you
space
actually fight on the
battles.
moon.
Yeah, is space battles and low G combat and that sort of thing, which is cool. I just feel like they might not do as well in that game because people are wanting, like you said, they're wanting old classic combat more.
Well, you see,
Right, like
this is the problem you have whenever you have a reiterative game like Call of Duty. Like people expect, like people ask for innovation, but they don't always want innovation.
right. Look at Advanced Warfare, very innovative. It was a very innovative game for the IP.
And
I
Yeah,
it's
I was
actually I liked
actually
it. I liked Advanced Warfare.
it's funny that
I've never
Advanced
played it,
Warfare
but I
got
was
no
watching.
love, but Black Ops 3 got a lot more love, and it was pretty much the same thing.
You know,
No, no, they're very, very different games.
when it
And the
comes
problem,
to
Go ahead,
the
what
problem,
Travis.
was
okay,
oh,
Yeah.
I've never played Advanced Warfare, but I was watching my brother play it earlier on today, and like I was really interested. Like it kind of reminded me a bit of Titanfall in certain ways, like in terms of like ground character movement, um, and a little bit of like the level design. And I really that's really interesting to me, and I like it. But you know,
well, see, the problem that I think when Morty was talking about what he said, Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 were very similar game. They're similar in some ways, but they're very different in a lot of ways too. The big thing with Advanced Warfare that people didn't like, they didn't like the jet booster packs. So like you could be shooting somebody in the back and they could just up and jump over, behind, and around you, and you can't track them that well. It's just hard to do it because they move so fast.
Yep.
And that was a lot of the community's complaint with Advanced Warfare. They just didn't like that. Black Ops 3 is a lot more grounded.
Yeah.
I could do without the superpower specialists, but it's more boots on the ground. Yeah, you could do some wall running if you want to. But if you do the wall runs, you're kind of a sitting duck because it's hard to tell the aim while you're running on the wall.
That's just
So
because you need to get good. Sorry.
no, it's because everybody has issues with that. It ain't just me. I'll get some kills off a wall though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the community's complaints between the two, and then Ghost could have been a good Call of Duty if the maps weren't so damn big.
The maps were just It wasn't just big. They had big, and the sight lines favored camping like fucking
Yeah.
crazy. It was
They
depressing.
didn't flow. They didn't. It just wasn't a great game.
It was like when you have a multiplayer based game, maps are everything in that game.
Right. Well,
But
what's funny is the DLC maps actually were really good. Some of
mhm,
them were still a little big, but most of them were small to medium sized maps.
yeah,
And
and
the side lines and everything was good. It's like they were trying to save all the good maps for the DLC.
yeah, and the thing is I think that a lot of the problem is in you did have some long sight lines in like say Modern Warfare 3, the one before Ghost, made by Infinity Ward, so same developer, right? Um, the thing the thing about Modern Warfare 3 is that you had some maps that had long sight lines, but then there would also be a section of the map that would be adjacent to it where there was shorter corridors, right? So you
Right.
had this spot was for your long range players, your snipers that want to camp or whatever, and then you've got this area with tight corners for the guys that want to run and gun, and you didn't have to necessarily cross the long sight line in order to get to the more close range thing. So that was kind of the balance you had in Modern Warfare 3.
Right.
And
That's
then
what people love about Treyarch, because Treyarch maps are all like that.
well, they used to be like Infinity Ward used to have those too, like Mass Effect or Modern Warfare 2. was also like that too, but they kind of went off the deep end. They made a mistake with Ghost. In any case, though, not dwelling on that, people obviously are really hyped for Battlefield 1, as we noticed that Infinite Warfare, one of the most disliked videos on YouTube, and Battlefield 1, one of the most liked videos. Kind of sad. But, quickly going back to the Bethesda game, obviously everybody was horribly pissed at the fucking greedy-ass move of Skyrim Remastered. It was them just trying to make a cheap buck off of fucking console players. Because...
Well, my understanding is if you own Skyrim Legendary...
On PC. On PC, nope. Only PC.
Sure.
It's because they know that PC players are like, we ain't gonna fucking buy that. We already have mods that make the game look better. Like, that's the only way they can sell that remastered edition to PC players is by giving it to them for free.
Or people that don't already own it, I see.
Yeah, so the people that the people on consoles, on PS4, Xbox One, you guys are getting fucking shafted. You're getting a game that has, if you guys PC players that know your fucking mods knows that there are texture packs and there are ENBs, which are essentially the ambient lighting and effects in the game. Essentially, all that the remastered edition is they threw a high-res texture pack mod in that game and an ENB. In fact, for all I can tell, they may have taken one of the community mods and put them into the game. That way they had to literally do zero fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
That really, really chaps fucking... Like, you had... Oblivion would have been nice to see in remaster, but let's be honest, Morrowind would have been the one that really could have used the remaster, because as I talk to people that are big,
but the game would have taken a whole rebuild from scratch. Like, you can't use any of those old textures or anything like that.
Not really. And the thing is that they could have easily contacted the Skyrim or what are they called? Not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Remaster or Project or whatever. The guys that have already been working and building Morrowind in the creation engine within like the Skyrim world, they could have contacted them and said, hey guys, we love the work you've been doing. Can we help you out so we can put out a remastered Morrowind? That would have been great fucking publicity. People would have ate that shit up. Every news organization would have been like, look at this guy. The game developers are working with community modders to remaster a game. Nope. Mm-hmm. Nope. Instead, they know that Skyrim is one of the single biggest selling games in the history of the franchise, in the history of games in general. So,
I think it's probably Bethesda's biggest selling game ever.
It is their biggest selling game. It is probably one of the single biggest selling games, hands down, because I'm pretty certain last I checked it was closing around 20 million copies, or 20 million copies sold, which is probably one of the largest. Like, to give you a comparison, I think the entire, and I don't know about Uncharted 4, but up to Uncharted 3, when I did the comparison, the Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, one of the biggest franchises for sales, was like at 8 to 10 million. Now, obviously, it may have boosted up because of Uncharted 4 being a huge release, but still, that's all it's about, is they're being greedy. They want a cheap and quick way to make an extra buck. That's really what it's about. Now, that said, Skyrim, fuck Skyrim Remastered.
Can we be honest? Fuck this whole Bethesda conference for the most part.
Well, no.
It was a big pat on the back for them, with the exception of Quake Champions, Dishonored 2, and Prey.
Well, like, that's pretty much half of it. So that was half of it. So half of it's Fallout DLC. We don't fucking care about, especially the builder shit. Nobody fucking cares about.
I care about the Nuka world.
Yeah, Nuka
but
world.
I want to see what it is.
But the Doom DLC, people are already done playing Doom.
I just checked on Steam as we were talking. There's 3,000 people playing on Steam right now.
Doom, yeah, that's nobody. Nobody's gonna fucking play it. So, and then what was the third one? Oh yeah, and then Skyrim. There's a lot of people rightfully mad about the Skyrim remaster thing. So. But Quake Champions, Prey, and Dishonored 2. People knew about Dishonored 2. That's not a surprise. People
They talked about that last year.
Yeah, because and it's not a really surprise, but people are excited to see more of the game, and they're excited to see some of the developments in there. I have heard some people voicing their opinions with Kev there that they're kind of upset that Joe, not Kev, Joe, about Corvo being a voiced protagonist in this game now. Whatever, I doesn't bother me. But the big two was Quake Champions and Prey. So after the success of Doom, Quake is seeming to be that I'm kind of excited. I have a feeling that they're going to try to make it a hero shooter like Overwatch.
A lot of people think that,
and I'm kind of excited to see that because yeah, I like Overwatch. I love the hero shooters, so I'm kind of excited to see how they do that. Yep.
I think it's funny.
What's that, Travis?
The big thing that I need to know in terms of like whether or not I think Quake is going to be as successful in terms of like the new Doom compared to like the original Doom, how much of the original game feel did they like bring into the new game?
Well, the thing is they've just teased it. They didn't really show any gameplay or anything like that. That's going to be at QuakeCon.
I'm asking about Doom. I'm asking about Doom. Like in terms of like what they did with Doom. How much of like the original game feel did they manage to create? I know they're not going to throw the like copy it one for one because that would be silly, but like
it felt like
I guess what I'm trying to get to is a fan. Yeah. People who are fans of the original, are they going to be satisfied, or were they satisfied with the new Doom?
Single player, yes. Multiplayer, no.
Yeah.
Well, obviously not the multiplayer. Did the original Doom even ever have multiplayer?
Yeah, no. It was a mod.
Yeah,
but you could get on there.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. So with one of the things that they really covered, because the original Doom, it was very notorious for being very gory, and that was one of the things they've really recaptured with those fucking gory kills. Right, that was one of the things they focused on.
The glory kills were amazing.
Yeah, like that is a very big focus in that game, and they look great, and the game does look great, and like you said, the single player it's been getting nothing but rave reviews. The multiplayer, though, it felt like whenever I first compared it to Unreal Tournament, but after someone made the link and said Quake, I was like, you know what? That's fucking right. Yeah, Quake. It is very comparable to Quake, with that kind of game show like arena feel, which doesn't fit with Doom at all. You know, like the big voice announcer, you got this guy getting kills. It's like that doesn't fit in fucking Doom. It doesn't fit. Like so I think that's my issue with it, is it just doesn't fit.
In the multiplayer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if they simply use Doom as like a
test bed.
Like a test
to see.
Wolfenstein was a better test. Wolfenstein was amazing. Wolfenstein was great.
Mm-hmm. But and then the one that just dropped the bomb, that they did better than EA because of one simple fact, and that was Prey. And that was definitely a fucking amazing trailer.
We've got a couple of guys. I don't know about Kev, but I know me and I know Joe are kind of, what's the term, jaded in terms of being hyped for video games.
Yeah,
Joe is jaded about a lot of things.
Joe is the cynic.
Me and Joe really have a difficult time getting hyped about stuff, but I know Joe and I know I would, and I know Morty was like, I don't know, that trailer got me.
That trailer was just... Whenever they take a first-person game, they throw in the psychological shit in there, which we're going to get to another game that fucking did a great job of that later.
Be Happy Few is what I'm thinking.
Oh, no. We'll get to it. I don't want to like link it too much, but I'm just going to say, is it an evil? So, in any case, though, Prey, I'm excited for that. I want to see what they do with that. It looks fucking great.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so that was our recap of Sunday, and we rolled that into a nice 30-minute segment. Bam, nailed it. So that was kind of what we did. So Prey, we wanted to see more Andromeda. Fuck it, but yeah, Prey pretty much won Sunday, and to me. That was the one that really actually kind of got me interested.
I just think Sunday was just kind of boring.
It was that's sad. Whenever that was the best they could do. However,
Well, so Dishonored 2, I remember you, Joe, and Nick were talking quite a bit about Dishonored 2.
well, yeah, and we were talking about the game as well. It's a it's actually the thing is I already knew it didn't really like I knew like whenever I saw it I was like I kind of like this, but it wasn't anything that was particularly like surprising or shocking. In fact, it followed the method of the first Dishonored gameplay that we saw almost to a T.
So I feel like Bethesda and I mean that why am I forgetting the other conference name right now?
Dudes of the
EA,
Peasant.
What were the conference?
EA
It
Play.
was EA, yeah, EA. I mean, EA is guilty of this in the past and a little bit recently as well. But I feel like Bethesda's kind of moved into that point that developers slash publishers get in where they're not really like doing a ton of exciting stuff.
We're going to
They're
talk
kinda
about
trying
another
to rest on their
developer slash
laurels.
publisher that did do that, or is the same place.
Yeah, they're like resting on their laurels, and they're just kind of like trying to use their current IP that has big names to like, you know, not
Activision.
put in a bunch of work.
Ubisoft.
And
Ubisoft.
it doesn't. It leads to really boring and really just not good conferences.
So much hate. So much hate. Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right. And there's a lot of them that are doing that, right? See, now here's the thing. You say that with Activision, but you do realize that one half of Activision is Blizzard. So I will throw.
I think that's disrespecting Blizzard quite a bit.
That's
I'm going to tone down the Blizzard respect just a little bit.
The name of the company is Activision Blizzard. I'm just throwing that out there for you.
But let's be real. Most of the fuckery is happening on Activision, not Blizzard.
Yeah, but
our Blizzard has their side of fuckery. Every company has fuckery, but most of the fuckery here is Activision.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and get moving on to Monday. So starting off Monday morning now, and this I kind of felt like it just we started off the morning strong and it just finished with a grand crescendo here. But so Microsoft's
the Windows 10 conference was glorious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just in general, Microsoft's press conference, like they had several things on there. First of all, they announced a big thing off the bat is that pretty much all their Xbox games they're releasing now go on to Windows 10 because they're really trying to push that synergy. They also announced a lot of other what do they call it? Was it
Play Anywhere? Where you
Play Anywhere? Yeah, Play Anywhere.
Xbox or the PC, and you can get it on both.
This is actually making me really, really happy that Microsoft is finally like, okay, we're gonna start, making sure our games are on PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge deal in my opinion. If Microsoft's gonna start doing it, I think it's gonna spread to other developers are gonna see that they need to start supporting, and maybe Microsoft's not going to be pushing for exclusive access as much. Because
I like this. I think this was Phil Spencer's plan from the start. Because if you notice, when Phil Spencer got in office, he kept hinting at this.
Mm-hmm.
And something similar. He's been doing it since he got the job.
Yeah.
So I think this was just his grand plan in the scheme of things.
I don't think
if you guys remember, the Xbox original and it did the same thing.
I don't think. I don't think it was also. It was just Phil Spencer. It's the new CEO of Microsoft who has been really big on trying to change the direction of the company. Since Steve fuckface Ballmer was in control of the company.
Well, we know who didn't want this to happen, Mister. If you want an Xbox offline, we have one for you. The Xbox 360.
That was Steve Ballmer. That's why nobody.
I thought that was Don Matrick.
Well, there's Don Matrick, but Steve Ballmer also those two guys were probably the worst thing to happen to Microsoft. And now you have Phil Spencer and you have the guy that I can't Saudi something or another, I can't remember his name, that are in control of the company now, and things are changing for a positive note. At least it appears.
Well, thinking about it from a business perspective, right? Like Microsoft being, the people that make Windows is like a huge deal. Like that's in terms of their market share of video games in general. That's massive. You cannot just let that slide, and they kind of have been.
Yep.
For a while.
Well, I mean, there was the big thing with the Xbox
And
One launch.
Like it's if you compare Microsoft and Sony, like Microsoft, yeah, they're not doing as good with the Xbox this go around, but
let's be real. The Xbox One is selling tremendously well. It's just the PS4 is
selling
doing
so much
yeah,
better.
that's why I said it's not doing as good.
Yeah. I hate
It's
when
not
people say
trouncing.
the Xbox One is selling
Yeah.
bad. It's not
Okay.
selling bad. It's just not selling like
Well,
PS4
yeah.
is going to surpass PS2.
Microsoft is not trouncing Sony with their console. However, if you think of Sony, you know, you got Sony and you have PlayStation, and then on the other side you have Microsoft and Xbox. Microsoft and Xbox plus Windows is a behemoth of player base.
And I think you're spot on. I think you're hitting on something there, is that Windows is finally realizing, like, holy shit, if we can harness the marketing force of having our gamers also on Windows, because we've got gamers on Windows, it's the largest gaming community. If you look at just the players that play League of Legends alone has more players on it than I think people that own fucking consoles. One game on PC.
Steam clocked, and this is like 2 years ago, they clocked at 125 million active accounts.
Oh, no, that's Dota 2. That's Dota 2.
I believe a lot of it's Dota.
No. I'm saying
League.
League is somewhere around the 300 million mark. Like, it's fucking huge. It is a juggernaut of players. And like I said, you've got CS:GO, you've got Dota 2, and now Overwatch. Where they cross like 10 or 15 million players.
I think it was 10 million.
10 million. Like, they're quickly rolling and gaining steam as well.
I'm wondering how many of those were on console.
No, it's probably, I would imagine that it's a 30 to 40% share is probably on console. Although I have seen a lot of streamers on Twitch that were actually console players streaming Overwatch, which I thought was pretty fucking awesome. Like, that's not well, I mean, like, you see the big Twitch streamers, right? They're all playing League of Legends, they're all playing Dota, you know, they're playing CS:GO. Yeah, you know, those are all PC games, right? So it's pretty much, Twitch has been dominated by PC gamers for the most part. Oh yeah,
and don't forget about Warcraft. Warcraft is huge on Twitch.
Yeah, well, World of Warcraft, and the other one on there, Hearthstone, also a PC game.
Big.
Hearthstone's
like
big.
The top 10 games are almost always all PC games on Twitch.
Yeah, but like I said, Overwatch has had a lot of big consoles like streamers on there, which I'm like, great. Like, that's a new facet for them to really get in on. So I think it's kind of cool.
I'm looking at it now, and actually what's interesting right now is Smash Brothers is one of the top games people are watching right now.
Oh, yeah,
everything else,
PC
games.
But yeah, so that's the thing.
I'll say that they'll flag our video, man.
I agree with Travis, though, saying is that if Microsoft can in a way try to harness the Windows platform as a marketing strategy, it would be great for them, because so Xbox didn't sell so well. Who gives a fuck? We've got 3 times as many players on Windows. Game match. Like, that's essentially that's the way they could play it. The key is, if they try to lock down the Windows platform with proprietary gaming bullshit, not necessarily, people would still have Steam, but as far as what Windows would try to leverage, if they sell games on the Windows Store on Windows 10, and then lock it into that proprietary gaming platform, no one's gonna buy it. Like, the Quantum Break didn't sell that well on PC. They had to hand away codes for it, which didn't even come in time, which is kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember I ended up refunding my Xbox One copy and just getting it on PC for that reason.
Yeah.
So they said you were going to get the same day and day. What was I going to say? Speaking of, there was actually a news story that came out. I was looking at it earlier today. Microsoft is going to start putting their games on Steam.
That's good. Like I said, as long as they are open about it like that, because they got to realize, especially if it's their first party developed stuff, if they get on Steam, that is great marketing for them, because they're still making their money off of it. They still published it. Yeah, Steam gets a cut, but you know what? You got to pay the piper. I mean, come on,
Right.
Steam is the gatekeeper. You put it on
Oh, I
Steam,
agree.
that's gonna get the most saturation. So
I mean, you can't get angry about that considering they do the same thing with console multiplats.
yeah, but so let's go ahead and kind of go through the games on there because now obviously Microsoft did rehash Battlefield 1 because that's everybody's big thing. One of the big Microsoft announcements that's not going to be really unique to Microsoft is Gwent. Trying to get into the because now that was another thing I don't think no during the PC thing we did see or Bethesda thing I can't remember we did see something about Elder Scrolls Legends, the trading card game that Bethesda is making. That I actually got to play the beta of, and I actually think is pretty cool, and I like it. They're also putting out Gwent as a standalone trading card game, which is kind of interesting. It's a smart move. People that played Witcher love Gwent. Like it was a surprise hit, so I kind of think that's interesting that they're doing that. And then we also had Sea of Thieves, Scalebound, Gears of War 4. We already knew about. I pretty much all of those. Tekken 7. Does anybody really give a fuck? Seriously, when you're on the 7th iteration of a game,
There are some hardcore Tekken fans out there that are really excited.
no,
I actually
it's
thought
because
when Phil
it's
Spen-
because of professional. There's actually a professional circuit for Tekken.
right, actually, but I mean, there's actually like people who just like Tekken, just like there's people who like Street Fighter or
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat. Like I'm a Mortal Kombat guy.
Yeah.
When I saw them this is trailer for Tekken, I thought this was Phil Spencer apologizing because he said when Sony got Street Fighter, I'm going to make it up to you guys. Oh shit! Is this Phil Spencer making good on his promise? Multiplat.
Yeah. So
I was like, well, damn.
so yeah, he got which is a big deal because I mean, Tekken's been Sony's baby for a long time, right?
Right. Yeah, and that was me saying it. That's why I say it. But then at the same time, paywall, who cares about exclusivity kind of thing.
Yeah. So and then you also have Killer Instinct had some new stuff coming out and all that. Now the one that I was interested on there, like you said, We Happy Few and Recore were both really interesting games that they announced that I actually kind of were interested, especially Recore. It's kind of a action game.
I'm kind of excited for that game. I think the aesthetic is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let you just scan over and skip the best zombie game in the market, State of Decay.
Oh,
State of Decay, the original one, was the shit.
I'm kind of
as during the Sony conference during a certain game that we will also discuss here in a little bit. As a certain game was being announced in the Sony conference, and I saw a tweet from Angry Joe that said, "Another fucking zombie game."
Yeah, I'm burnt out on zombie games.
That's all I've got to say about it. Like,
the thing I like about State of Decay is it's a survival game. There's zombies in it, but it is a survival. It's totally a survival
another
game.
fucking zombie survival game. I mean, like literally, we have like 20 million of them. I'm done. I can't.
I love State of Decay. I love State of Decay.
Like, no,
I don't say much
wrong.
about these other zombie games. I love State of Decay.
State of Decay was great. I mean, there's been a lot of great zombie games that I actually really fucking enjoy. Dying Light was great too. Dying Light was amazing.
I wanted a State of Decay too. So I'm excited about it. I wanted it.
Is We Happy Few? Is that game made by some of the developers of BioShock?
No, but it's trippy like BioShock.
Yeah,
but actually, I saw a story. They said the head developer for We Happy Few never played BioShock.
Really?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Because it's got a heavy BioShock vibe to it.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. That's the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
It's not the game for people who are afraid of clowns/mimes.
And also Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2 is what got me playing StarCraft this week. Because I was looking like this game looks interesting as hell. Let me find something, or at least the original Halo Wars. Is there anything out like it now? And everybody said, oh yeah, it's a StarCraft clone.
It's not a StarCraft clone.
No, StarCraft clone.
First of all, to Zyphon, yes, we are 4 years past the year of the zombies. Yes, it is time to move on. But no, Halo Wars is not a StarCraft clone. If anything, the first Halo Wars that came out was legitimately a skin on Command & Conquer. I will fully well admit that.
I was okay. I actually like.
It was good
Halo
though.
Wars got a lot of hate. But like it was good.
It was still good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm ready for Halo Wars 2 because like Morty and I were talking off camera. I like the gameplay in StarCraft, but I don't like the universe very much.
Yeah,
the
you're
thing
just not
the
invested
thing
in
about
it. Yeah.
the thing about Halo Wars is it kind of like the really, and it's funny because I'm usually the person that's the opposite of this. Like high level RTS games, that take a lot of mechanical skill, a lot of thought. Like they have their place, but like Halo Wars was kind of just a little bit of a step down from that.
Well, yeah, it was for
And
console
it was
players. Like they're not
yeah,
used to RTS.
and I was okay with that. Like it was nice to just be able to sit around and mess around with that kind of thing without having the massive stress that like StarCraft brings to you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel stressed about StarCraft probably because I play the campaign.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, the only thing about it is I just want a better world. But I like the idea of having this massive army. Like I just did this mission where we had to go shoot up this train. I played this earlier today, and I had 80 soldiers with me shooting down this train. And the train might have had like 5 or 10 soldiers with it. We destroyed them in seconds, and it took down the train. And I didn't even realize they were attacking the train. Like I sent them over there, and then I had my workers mining them, and I was creating more workers and micromanaging my base. And the train's destroyed. I'm like, oh shit, I lost track of the time.
Yep.
It's just the world. I want something in a world that I'm invested in, a world that I actually might enjoy. Halo Wars, I think, is going to be it.
Yeah, Halo Wars 2 is definitely, like I said, I kind of think that would be exciting. And the fact that it's going to be on PC, that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think I want to play an RTS on console. Like, just with the controller, it seems weird.
The major thing that I'm concerned about on here with Halo Wars specifically is that you will get no cross-platform play at all because there will be such an unfair advantage. Like, that's one of the things where...
Is there?
Shooters, you can say,
Yeah.
like you can say a shooter like mouse is superior. Yes, mouse is superior for shooters, but if you really want to find an example of where PC play is just so far beyond console play as far as skill required, RTS games. If you were to put StarCraft, for example, StarCraft 2 on console and then verse a PC and a console player, it would just it wouldn't work because a lot of RTS games are all about clicks per second and fast
and
movement,
just faster.
Snapping around maps to random locations really fast. You just can't fucking do it in with a controller. It's just not going to work. And like maybe the Steam controller, you might be able to do it with some special tweaks, but that's still again for PC. So yeah, I see that as a thing. Yeah, Razer fanboy there.
No, I'm saying mouse life.
So yeah,
give me a good Corsair. I'll take a good Corsair. And you're a Logitech fanboy. What you talking about?
But so anybody have any thoughts on the Scalebound showing this year?
Scalebound? I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to play.
That's made by the Dante guys, right?
Yeah,
that's my platinum.
Platinum, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was like, is this a Dante's Inferno skin that looks kind of not as good?
It to me, when you say Dante, it feels a lot like Devil May Cry. The new Devil May Cry.
Dante's Inferno. Why am I saying Dante?
Yeah.
It's Dante's Inferno. Devil May. You knew what I was trying to say, right?
But as far as the kind of the meta depreciating thing, on there, it's Devil. It does feel a little bit like the attitude of it does feel a little bit like Devil May Cry, but the gameplay, like the whole like dragon synergy and doing stuff like that, not at all. It feels
that dragon fighting felt ripped out of another game, and I can't place which one it is, and it looks really really boring.
Can't remember what the game was, but I
know
know what you're talking about.
What I'm talking about.
I think it was PS2. Yeah. I'm pretty certain it was a PS2 game.
Yeah.
Xiphon, you might know. Was it Drakengard?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Drakengard, I think, was the one that was like.
It was the one that had the really really weird story to it, but the weird like ground gameplay, but the really boring dragon fighting. Like,
yeah,
I don't know why
once you got the dragon or whatever. I think it was Drakengard was what it was called, and yeah, it was a PS2 game, and it wasn't all that great. But yeah, so and then Sea of Thieves.
Oh, I'm excited. Oh man, I just watched that trailer.
Can,
Woo!
can we talk about the cringe-worthy Twitch streamers they had on there, though?
I don't even care about the cringe-worthy Twitch streamers. That game looks like a bundle of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the game does look fun.
Man.
Yeah. So and that kind of
swashbuckling pirate nonsense.
So if
and
we were
that's
to
fun.
pick out the best offering that's unique to Microsoft, so Battlefield 1 doesn't count. Best offering unique to Microsoft, what would you guys say? We'll start with you, Kev.
I'm torn between State of Decay, Halo Wars, and Gears of War. And even Forza Horizons 3 looks great to me.
Oh yeah,
but I think I'm gonna go with Gears.
I will say, real random comment, the Forza whole thing of like having 3 people that just like can seamlessly like join in matches, like you can all be in your independent races, your friend sends you like a race invite, and it just seamlessly kind of turns one race or 3 races into one, was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not even a huge racing fan, but that looked pretty cool.
Oh, you're not going to get Forza Horizon? I'm getting Forza Horizon. I'm going to design my car. I'm going to put the PC Master Race logo on the side and on the back, just to piss off console players when I'm beating them in races.
Oh, God. But yeah,
Forza Horizon is on PC, right?
It's going to be. It's going to be on both.
All the Xbox games are coming to PC.
I am super happy about that. That is the one gripe I had about Forza. Wasn't on PC.
Well,
that's the only gripe I had about it.
So, Travis, because most of these games are coming out this fall.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you going to have Ascended by this fall? Because we're coming on your anniversary of the show. You still haven't Ascended. And today is also my mouse's birthday. I got it last year on Father's Day.
Hey man, I'm gonna be starting. I need to get it before I start college in August. So, yeah.
You have to hit up Zyphon for that. But so in any case, though,
and don't get that 960. Zyphon was talking about before. Get that RX 480.
I don't know. Well, whatever's available, you do your shopping. Yeah. In any case, though, what's your thoughts, Travis? What were you most excited?
Okay. So I didn't watch the Gears of War one. Battlefield I'd already seen. I'm not really excited. I'm not a Gears fan. Not a Battlefield fan. Forza,
well, Battlefield doesn't count anyway. It's not unique. Yeah. It's multi-plat. So.
That has to be Microsoft.
Final Fantasy
not exclusive.
15.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15's everywhere. It's not by any means new.
What are the exclusives again?
So Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon, ReCore, that doesn't count. Sorry,
Killer Instinct
Inside We Happy Few. I guess I could say Tekken 7. Dead Rising.
I think I'm gonna be ReCore, We Happy Few, and
Scalebound, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, I think I'm ReCore, We Happy Few, and Sea of Thieves. I'm just really in the mood for unique IPs right now. I'm kind of tired of sequels.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in Scalebound. I kind of like Halo Wars 2. I'm not a huge racing guy, but Forza, I don't know. There's a lot of them that I like on there. I would say probably, though, ReCore just seems like the most interesting to me just because it's very...
super
the thing about racing games is that they are, fundamentally different on PC.
Oh, yeah.
If you have the setup for them. Once you get a racing setup on PC, it is amazing.
Have you? Well, you know what's funny when we talk about that? Why don't they do racing wheels for consoles anymore? I remember I have an uncle 7 months older than me. Yeah. On the PS1, he had a Mad Catz racing wheel, and we used to play the original Gran Turismo on it. It was the shit. And this is the '96. Why don't we have that now?
I have a buddy that lives down the street from me. He bought the body of an S10 or a Ranger or something. He took it apart. Cut it apart, put it back together again in his room, mounted monitors inside of it, and pedals and a wheel.
I've seen setups like that where they do crazy shit with the 3 monitor setups where they get 3 big ass monitors. There was one guy I saw that had 3 ultra wide monitors, the 21:9 really wide monitors, and he set those up in a kind of thing. I don't know what hardware he was running that fucking thing. You had to have beast hardware to run even one ultra wide, right? running 3. And yeah, like you get the racing wheel. You want to talk about immersion? That's fucking crazy. But let's since we're ticking through our clock here pretty quick here. Let's go ahead and go Ubisoft and laugh at them for a minute.
I mean, do we really need to talk about Ubisoft?
Yes,
the only thing we're talking about was Watch Dogs and what was it? Watch Dogs
so here's the thing.
Everything else, yeah.
Like here's the thing. First of all, we're gonna skip over the Division because nobody fucking cares. We're gonna skip over. Well, I mean, like,
skip Just Dance. Nobody cares.
Let's talk about For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Oh god, not Star Trek Bridge Crew. No, we're gonna ignore that one. And Watch Dogs 2. South
Park, the best game in the show.
Oh yeah, South Park. I missed that one on there. So yeah, we also got South Park. Obviously, the Stick of Truth. Huge game. Like,
loved the Stick of Truth.
It was such a great game. So
hilarious.
So I'm looking forward to the Fractured But Whole. Like I said, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Everybody knows that I'm looking forward to that because I'm a real fucking Tom.
I want to know.
Yeah,
I just watched that trailer. I want to hear your.
I want to hear Morty's thoughts on this because I thought the trailer was kind of cringeworthy. It wasn't. I didn't think it was that great, but the gameplay mechanics looked okay.
So here's the thing. This is my thought: is that Ubisoft is great at overpromising and underdelivering. We know that.
Oh yes, they are.
So that's my major concern, right? Is that it's going to be a cringeworthy game, but at least if
they were promising a lot in that trailer, though, like.
Well, if you saw,
really didn't feel like there was a lot there.
So if you saw like some of the previous media that was released for Wildlands, like they show like this almost Hitman Blood Money type freedom of expression on how you tackle a map. You can brute force your way in. You can, more tactically brute force your way in, essentially, instead of running in and gunning and just mowing everybody down with machine guns. You can pick off key targets from a distance and then move your way in. Or you can find some other tactical stealthy method, like to go in during the night or whatever. You had a lot of options on how to tackle it. Like I said, it felt kind of like a Hitman Blood Money. You had that open world freedom of expression. That if they can capture that, I'm sold. I will wait for a fucking review because I don't trust Ubisoft for shit.
the one game on here that I will say, and actually probably out of all of these that I'm going to pre-order, and it's because of the collector's edition of this whole E3.
For Honor.
South Park Fractured But Whole.
Oh, South Park, yeah.
I want the collector's edition.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like Dishonored 2 with that fucking Corvo mask. That's shiny. But the other one on there, Watch Dogs 2, I'm kind of mixed on that.
I love the original Watch Dogs, but
I was underwhelmed with the original Watch Dogs. It was so repetitive after a really short period of time.
I can see that. The original Watch Dogs is my most played game on Steam.
That's shocking. Not shocking. I mean, people like different games, so that's that.
I got that disc.
I could not get into Watch Dogs.
I like the mechanics of it.
Yeah, like I love the concept of Watch Dogs. I really do. And we're going to talk about a game that I feel like does Watch Dog better than Watch Dog does, and it's not even fucking close to Watch Dogs. That's the great thing about it.
Mafia 3?
No, we'll talk about it in a second when we get to the Sony conference. But yeah, so Travis, favorite games from Ubisoft? Dropping on you because he has not watched any of these.
Just Dance. Yeah, actually, I did. Don't even. I have. I've watched some.
Just Dance is coming to PC this year.
See, Just Dance. You gotta special place in my heart.
It's got a special place.
Stop it! No, we will shut off the fucking podcast. Just that. Okay. No, you know what? Take it back. We're gonna make your camera full screen, and you're gonna demo Just Dance for me. Okay.
Look, guys.
If you've ever explanation, now you're losing a lot of gamer cred talking about Just Dance.
Look. Okay, like drunken Just Dance parties for holidays are almost as fun as like drunken Wii bowling parties.
Kevin,
Yeah, I'll give him
Kevin,
that.
he is so fucking young sometimes. It is amazing.
I've done some drunken Just Dance parties. It's
No,
kind of fun.
the best drunken ones is drunken Wii games. I tell you what.
Boxing,
drunken boxing. It's so uncoordinated.
No, drunken
so
ready to rumble. While we're talking about boxing, drunken ready to rumble was my shit, and I shouldn't have been doing that if I was in high school.
Yeah. So Kev, what do you think? Ubisoft.
I already said it. South Park.
Oh, South Park. Yeah.
South Park.
Yeah,
I like what I see from Watch Dogs. I want to see more. For Honor could be cool because I like the idea of chivalry. But chivalry, the community is AIDS.
Yeah.
You watched the original For Honor like gameplay, right? You watched the gameplay for it?
Yeah, For Honor is well, it's not just chivalry. For Honor is like where you have that's the game where you have like the samurai or the Viking guy or whatever.
No, it was
right. I guess I mean it's like it's PvP melee medieval kind of combat. That's what I was getting at. We're similar to
For Honor. It's what was the game? It was slightly.
Zyphon, could you go ahead and take care of that, please?
There was a combat system in a game that For Honor seemed to be slightly based off of. What was it again? Do you guys remember?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's not based off of chivalry, and I don't know. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, no, because it's like taking all of the stereotypical, like antiquity heroes, like like I said, you got your samurai, your armored knight, your Viking. Right. And they're all fighting for honor type of thing.
And I was actually kind of excited. I was excited about the cinematic trailer because it kind of seemed like they're gonna like throw some like supernatural like not like it's not based off of history like 100%.
Yeah, something I suspect that. Yeah,
there's some like magical type stuff going on, which I think is the better route to go than just trying to go straight up like 100%. Realism, because I feel like you can kind of get like too far into that and it flop easily if you take yourself too seriously.
Yeah. So then,
there was another game that I'm thinking that this reminded me of. Well, it made me think of it, and it's a very different game, but I loved it on the PS2. It was on the original Xbox also. You were in an arena. It was ancient Rome. You were fighting for your freedom. I can't think of what it's called right now. But the game was awesome, and they had something like that, but it was a free-to-play game on the Xbox 360 like that, too. And I wish I could think of the game right now.
I can't think of it offhand. I don't know.
It was a great game. Somebody in the chat or even the comment section later in the video remembers that. Let me know, because I don't remember the name of that game.
Yeah.
And I want to find it on PS2 emulator or see if we can find another game like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, being in like the Roman spectacle. Just fighting your way out. That's awesome.
Yep.
And I'm not thinking of the boat and Rise Son of Rome. That's not what I'm thinking of. There was the actual game on the PS2 and Xbox original.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get to the crux of it. And let's get to the final conference that kind of won E3 because it was like 50 minutes of
straight exclusives.
Craziness. Yeah, so Sony conference, they just hit us back to back with so many good games that were almost entirely Sony's games. So first of all, God of War, the new God of War, which has like they're taking Kratos and throwing him into Norway. So Kratos is now gonna go kill Odin. I'm predicting it. He's gonna fucking kill Odin. He's gonna kill Thor. He's gonna kill Tyr. He's gonna go kill the pantheon of Viking gods. That's my prediction.
I'm kind of watching a little bit right now, and I'm kind of having flashbacks to what was that game, the Roman one, the one that was all cut like. Are
you talking Rise Son of Rome?
Rise Son of Rome.
No, have you played a God of War game before? Have you played God of War? Because this is very God of War. It is very God of War, yeah.
Because what I'm seeing is very different from what I remember.
No, God of War is very big on. So they have their live combat, which is usually very gory.
I know it was big on cutscenes, but not
had
as
QTs
heavy.
all over the place. Like the whole press O to rip off Helios's head with your bare fucking hands.
I didn't see any of that in this trailer. One thing that a lot of people have been complaining about, though, is the non-fixed cameras, because you used to use the right analog stick to dodge.
Yeah.
And now you're moving the camera by yourself. That's a big, like, I played God of War 3, and that was a big deal.
Yeah. So that is something that is going to be tricky for God of War players. But I think, like, you play your Bloodborne, whatever, on PS4, it's going to be similar mechanics and movement to that. So I don't think people are going to have too much issues. But yeah, so in any case, though, I like the way it looked. I love the whole, like, having a kid thing. And I teared up a little bit. I missed it up a little bit whenever he's like, he killed the kid, took the gear down, and he's like, now you finish what you started. And like, he's like, I can't do it. And he just grabs his hand and pushes it in there. Yeah, but we all know
what's going to happen. Like,
no, we know that kid's going to kill him. We all know that kid's going to fucking be the death of him. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's Sith, right?
Or the kid's going to die. I mean...
No, we know.
Well, remember in the original God of War games, spoiler alert, for those of you who haven't played these games from the PS2, Kratos kills his wife and children.
Yep.
Or his wife and his daughter.
So like I said, my major thing on here is I'm predicting, like I said, they foreshadowed in there whenever the kid accidentally shoots Kratos with an arrow.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Foreshadowing, that's he's going to end up killing Kratos. And this is going to be the end of Kratos. So not to sell you guys on it, but
this is a reboot. This is a reboot because I don't know if you did.
Is it a reboot? I don't think it is a reboot.
Well, there's a reason it doesn't say God of War 4.
Yeah.
And did you guys play God of War 3?
I didn't. No, because I was past the point of
Okay. Spoiler alert: Kratos commits suicide at the end of God of War 3.
Yeah. So then how?
He stabs himself in the stomach.
So my question is why Kratos didn't come from Scandinavia, right?
No, he did not. They changed the mythology. So, and I think that's why for a reboot.
I don't know. I'm curious to see more of the story because I'm not sure how that works. Like, is it that that he committed suicide at the end of God of War 3 and somehow he now is in Scandinavia, reborn as another game changer?
Maybe reincarnation.
Yeah, reincarnation. Because I mean, he is kind of a pivotal character in a lot of the Greek pantheon. And if you noticed in the gameplay trailer, here's my thing. If you noticed in the gameplay trailer, they're not going to make him a Viking type thing because whenever he's fighting the big troll guy, it said activate Spartan Rage.
Can we talk about that beard for a second? Just how
I know
massive that beard was.
It was Geralt to me. It was just straight up fucking Geralt from Witcher 3. That's the first thing I thought of. Was like you just rode in with a beard. But yeah, so we had God of War. That was pretty awesome. Days Gone. Like, damn.
It's another zombie game. But what I'm hearing about this one is these zombies.
Wait, was it zombie?
They're actually it's a zombie game.
Definitely
actually, when I first saw it, I thought it was The Last of Us 2 at first.
Yeah.
And then they said it was something else. These zombies are actually sentient, like they're competent.
Yeah.
So they're not just brain dead.
They're sentient, they're fast, and they climb. You have no fucking safe place.
The only thing you can try to do is slow them down.
Yeah.
They're tactical. They die from like fire and other elements. You don't just have to basically just destroy the brain for them to die like you do in other zombie anything.
Yeah. I'm not too excited. Like, here's my thing. This is where I'm torn on this game is I love the fucking emotion of that game. Like, that trailer messed me up a little bit too. Like, where he's like talking, like essentially an internal monologue to his, as we can basically tell, his dead wife. That he's talking about how he misses her riding on the bike with him. I'm like, that's me. Give me a second. But so in any case, so it definitely seems like the game's going to take a very depressing tone, which is one of the things that a lot of your zombie games don't really capitalize on, the bleak and depressing emotion of a zombie apocalypse scenario. Usually it's I'm a fucking badass and I'm wrecking shit. Think about it for a minute.
That's actually what made State of Decay so cool, because you felt helpless. So in The Last of Us too.
Yeah, Last of Us. So did Walking Dead, but that's obviously based off of a show. But They
No,
definitely
the Walking Dead Telltale series.
yeah.
That's based on a comic book.
I feel like a lot of zombie games, they don't like you said, they don't feel like a bleak, zombie apocalypse. They feel more like a world that's on a perpetual Monday kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I mean, is there really much difference between Monday and the apocalypse?
Everybody's kind of bummed and moving a little bit slow and it's
Yep.
kind of sad. And it's I don't want to be at
Monday,
work
of course
today.
it's
It's a
sad.
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday.
There's not flesh eating. There's flesh eating creatures out there.
But it's just
Eh.
I mean,
Monday,
come
you
on,
know.
Monday.
By
Monday
the
is
time
kind of
Tuesday
flesh
comes
eating.
along, it's gonna be all good, you know.
Monday is slightly flesh eating. Can't we just agree on that?
Yes, it is. Soul sucking. So then we also had Last Guardian. The thing is that game I don't want to play it because I already fucking know how it's gonna end. It's gonna end with a dog saving the little fucking brat and dying in the process. I don't want to fucking go through that. I'm good. I'm good.
I think I'm just gonna buy the soundtrack and leave it at that.
Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing.
Well, let's be y'all weren't gonna buy a PS4.
Yeah, well,
Neatus.
I might. I actually, my brother has a PS4.
well, the
You would
thing
say-
is,
you
the
would
thing
say,
is that
something
I'm not
else.
gonna lie. PS4 got a lot more attractive with the next game that doesn't involve a pet saving your life and dying in the process. Instead, is Watch Dogs done right. And that's Horizon Zero Dawn, which, like I said, is nothing like Watch Dogs at all. But
I
if you
feel
want to
like
talk
I'm
about
going-
hacking your environment, holy shit, is it fucking amazing looking.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that
my
game looks
girlfriend.
great.
I
Like-
feel like my girlfriend's gonna make me get that game.
Oh no, like I said, so
Which is
first of
gonna
all,
be a
yeah,
PS4.
like obviously you're gonna have a lot of women that are like, yeah, strong female protagonist.
I'm like, yeah, strong female
Well, not even
protagonist.
just that, but like this seems like her, the kind of game she might have fun with.
Well, no, first of all, it seems like it's an open world game. Okay, that's kind of cool. But like it's kind of like so it's like I was saying Far Cry Primal mixed with The Witcher mixed with like I don't know, Cyberpunk's 2077 or something, like, because it's like
This does Far Cry Primal better than Far Cry Primal.
What, right? So it's like Far Cry Primal. You're like in some tribal like prehistoric setting.
It's like
No civilization that you can see of
Yeah.
really, and like so no real advanced technology, but all of the animals are sentient machines. And it's
like Far Cry Primal if it wasn't boring.
yeah, and on that, the story elements of it, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought it was made by CD Projekt Red. The way that the conversation goes, it feels heavily inspired by that. And I'm like, okay, you color me interested. And especially the way that the mechanics work in the game, like you hack animals to like tame them and ride them, but first you have to tether them to the fucking ground so they don't run away.
I'm highly impressed by the animations in that game.
Oh yeah,
like that.
The
really
other
kind of
thing, let's be honest, just from that little teaser that they gave us of gameplay, I'm fucking fascinated with that story too. That the way they're like, okay, we already know the animals are machines. All right, whatever. That's everybody kind of knows. They've got their balance with it. But wait, there's these corruptors that are ancient machines? Oh, wait, what's this? I'm already enticed to it. I'm interested in the world. They kind of drew me in. Like, what the fuck is going on with this place? Shit is so weird to me already. Like, it kind of had that whenever I first saw Mass Effect, right? And how the world just kind of like...
Just draws you in.
Yeah, it kind of draws you in. That's kind of where I'm at with it. And that's where I'm like, hey, look, you're hacking your environment better than Watch Dogs.
Damn.
Yeah.
What about Detroit? Detroit Become Human. What'd you guys think about that one? I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm kind of. I need to see more of that game. Like the part that I seen didn't really catch me. Like, and I think part of it might have been because I was like still just sitting there staring at the screen, like dumbfounded by Horizon Zero Dawn. I was just like, whoa. So I want to see more of Detroit Becomes Human. Like I said, that's a strong showing though. Like
I'm glad like Kara went somewhere. Like I really liked that that encounter. I thought that was really, really, really cool. Like I'm into AI and all that kind of stuff. really, pretty heavily. That's a very
Yeah, like
enticing
Ex
setting
Machina.
to me. Yeah, Ex Machina type stuff.
That movie.
So
My wife was totally taken hook, line, and sinker. Like by that, I'm not gonna spoil the ending of the movie for anybody. Great movie, you should go see it. Definitely,
what movie?
Ex Machina.
Oh, Ex Machina. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but so that was I'm on the fence about it. I also didn't have a chance to contemplate it because the next game was like, that's what you need fucking VR for. Anybody that was on the fence about VR,
I'm still on
Resident
the fence
Evil.
about VR. I'm still on the fence about VR.
Resident Evil is going to, if you're a horror fan game, oh my god, is that game going to fuck you royally.
Yes, well, my thing is though, I like my Resident Evil third person
But if you,
traditional survival horror where you have the low ammo, scarce supplies. I don't
I
want jump scare. I don't want like the jump scares in
not
my face VR first person experience in
no.
Resident Evil.
The thing is that from what I've seen of it, it's not like there are going to be jump scares because I mean that's kind of the horror experience. I hope nobody has a heart attack. Full disclaimer, yeah, hopefully don't bleed hard. But it's you like I said, you have to really have experience with VR to really know what this is gonna be like. Like it's something you have to at least demo. You have to try VR to kind of know the feeling, right? And then you will be like, "Oh my god, that's gonna be so fucking scary." Because when you have that VR headset on, I'm getting animated and smacking my mic around. When you get that VR headset on and you're kind of immersed in that, and something you catch something out of your peripheral vision, because sometimes it can they can trick the camera angles to where it feels like you're getting peripheral vision. You're just gonna be like, oh fuck that. Not gonna be for the Oculus Rift. I hope PSVR does better because that's my thing. Is that I need those motion controls for this game. That would sell it to me. You need the move. You need the move controllers for PSVR. I would love it if they could actually make this game for HTC Vive. They won't, but I'm hoping someone else maybe takes a cue and does that.
They might because it's on Xbox One and PC also. I doubt the VR is going to be exclusive to PlayStation 4.
Wait, no.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7
I
is on
thought
Xbox.
Resident Evil 7 was on Sony exclusive.
No, and it's a multi-plat.
Well,
maybe
I'm sold.
maybe now's not the best. Maybe now's not the best, time to discuss this because we're kind of running low on time. But like I want to have another discussion on like, a decent lengthy discussion on this whole VR exclusivity nonsense and like how long we think it'll actually last. Because I don't see it lasting.
Bullshit.
I
don't. And I agree with Gabe then.
I'm going to predict by the end of this year, once Rift releases its motion controllers, and it has a package selling for the same price as the Vive or near the same price, no one's going to be really buying the Rift. It's just not going to sell as well. People are going to like the experience of the Vive better. It is the superior product. That's as far as PC goes. Everybody's been saying that it has a better setup, a smarter setup of VR. I don't see Rift. I mean, unless Rift can manage to stay cheaper somehow, but I just don't see it happening. Those controllers can't be that cheap. But yeah, so that's when I feel like the exclusivity is going to start to go out the window, is whenever game developers realize that Rift is not necessarily the best choice.
I don't think the problem is I don't think developers really give a shit about the superior product.
No.
They wouldn't do exclusivity really and for anything in that purpose.
No, what I'm saying
I feel like it's going to become a marketing ploy, and that's
consumers are going to realize the superior product once the prices are more equal. They're going to realize the Vive is a superior product, and then the developers are going to be like, "What the fuck are we developing for Rift for?" That's what I'm saying.
I hope that happens. I don't like the idea of exclusivity. If you want to go get an Oculus Rift, you should be able to play whatever game you want to. If you want an HTC 5 and you want to play whatever game you want to, go for it. Fuck exclusivity.
It's like BenQ versus Asus. Like, they're fucking monitors.
Right.
I know, granted, they're a bit step above that, but yeah.
They're trying to do it like the console space, and the problem is it's a bad business practice in the console space too. But the console space gets away with it because people are like, oh, well, we've been doing this for 30 years.
Well, no, the thing is that my issue is that it's like it's essentially like saying, hey, I get a BenQ monitor and a Razer keyboard, and therefore I can play this specific game.
Right.
The fuck? They're peripheral devices. So
Right.
yeah, but in any case, let's kind of rip it back around because we do have, like, they did touch into some more VR stuff. So there was Farpoint. That was a VR one, and then the Battlefront VR X-Wing mission, and then Batman Arkham VR and Final Fantasy VR. So they were really they said, hey, listen, you guys think that we're playing around with PlayStation VR? No, and they just literally came out the game like. I'm not really a Batman fan, but just looking at my hands, putting on the bat gloves, yeah, that was kind of a magical moment.
I want to say this plays out. I just don't see Batman in VR being that great.
It depends. It depends on how much punching you have to do. If it's
right, that's just it. It's like
I have a
it's a great idea if you want to be Batman.
Somebody's house is gonna get
great.
wrecked. Somebody or somebody's wife's gonna get punched. Oh, is he abusing you? No, he plays Batman Arkham VR.
So can I answer that? Video games will turn your husband into a woman beater. The same way they said Watch Dogs were teaching children how to hack.
All right,
Like,
so which
yes,
one are we
you
on now?
press X and hack everything.
We're just grouping the VR experiences together on
Right,
here.
and Final Fantasy. Does anybody care about Final Fantasy VR here?
You know, until we have full body controls for first person
Nerve
like
gear,
walking
anyone?
games or Nerve gear, either way, whichever
Nerve
comes
gear.
first.
I'm all for Nerve gear.
If we get VR headsets and Nerve gear, do you realize how many porno games we're gonna get?
No. I'll throw it out there, guys. Have you guys seen the movie Surrogates?
No.
That was a depressing view of how the
I-
future could be.
I feel like we're going to, before that happens, we're going to have like a mechanical solution to it. It's going to be an expensive mechanical solution, however, attainable for, upper middle class families.
Well,
maybe.
the thing is
But-
that in the movie Surrogates, like pretty much very few people actually interacted with each other. They all sat in their home in like their fucking closet type thing with their like what equates to Nerve gear. It was a full brain interface, and they controlled an autonomous, essentially clone robot thing. So
Right.
if they blew up, if they died, whatever, no big deal. It's just a surrogate. It's a pretty good movie because especially at the end when you see the people like walk out of their houses and they're all like fucking shriveled up and malnourished and shit because they never go outside, right? And I was like, that's a very shocking shit. But anyway, so we'll skip over the
I think there was a book. I think there was a book series that one of the books in it or something kind of discussed that. I think it was like the Pendragon series or something, like a young adult series. I remember reading.
Maybe, I'm not sure. But on topic though, we'll skip over Call of Duty because
Nobody cares about Call of Duty.
However, the next one on the list is something I'm very excited about: Crash fucking Bandicoot.
My heart.
I care more about Call of Duty than Crash.
As soon as I heard I'm like, no, they did not. Fucking Crash Bandicoot. There's so much nostalgia in there. That was back in my PlayStation 1 days, and I'm kind of excited to see how they do that. It may be bad. That was another thing that just rose PS4 up in the ranks of interesting consoles for me now.
Lego Star Wars, man. I am hyped.
It's another Lego Star Wars game. Yes,
Dude.
they're cute and cheesy and can't be
I
funny.
don't care about Lego games.
I'd like to say I am not a fan. I'm not a huge fan of The Force Awakens. I have a lot of criticism for that movie. I think that The Force Awakens will be better as a Lego game
than as an actual movie.
I like the Lego. Yeah, I think I'll like the Lego game better than I liked the movie.
I can see that. But Lego game aside, because that's another behemoth thing, that's going to be on all consoles, not really Sony exclusive. However, the next one that is going to be one. So Hideo Kojima walks out on stage and in his most humble way says, "I'm fucking Hideo Kojima, bitches." And here's Norman Reedus's bare ass in a video game, and you all love it.
There was a Reddit post that was like when Sony gives you a blank check and you
says, "Make
get
me a game."
Your actor buddy to do whatever you want.
Norman Reedus. People love Norman Reedus though, because like the Boondock Saints and then Walking Dead, like people have been loving Norman Reedus. So like as soon as they're like bare Norman Reedus ass, I know every fangirl out there in the world. It's like,
well, the Reddit picture that was captioned by that was like him in like a motion capture shoot, like kissing a baby or something. With Hideo Kojima standing beside him, looking at the camera with his smug face.
Have you seen the memes though, where people have been talking shit with that, hugging? Then they had him hugging a PS4 instead of the baby.
Yeah. So
that was gold.
So here's the thing: the memes aside, the game gave you nothing, but holy shit, did it not grab you? Like Death Stranding, it's like, well, Norman Reedus is now the Angel of Death, apparently, because he stands up and holding this baby that was apparently C-sectioned out of him. The fuck? And he's standing around, death around him, and then there's some strange floating things in the sky. So without doing a full trailer breakdown, that definitely grabbed me, though. It was very, very interesting.
I'm about to watch the trailer after this. So.
Yeah, the trailer definitely grabs you, like...
It's Kojima, though. Kojima's really good at trailers.
Yeah, he is.
Where's Kojima?
We'll see. And then, of course, the last one on there, because the hype is high for Spider-Man, everybody kind of lost it whenever Sony's like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're Team Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Drops the mic. Like, he just drops the mic, walks off stage. We won. They won before that point. They were already winning.
Sony
it was about rape after like the first 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, Sony won. We get it.
I'm impressed with Sony, really. Like, how often do you see a company that, they manage, due to whatever circumstances, they hit a high and they stay there for so long?
They plotted the showing out very well, especially with Death Stranding and Spider-Man at the end. Like they like kept the punches rolling, hit that lull in the VR. They kind of grouped the VR together to kind of like fill out the middle, but a lot of people are excited about PSVR. And then they're like, "Oh, you thought this was the end? Nope. And we're going to just drop Death Stranding on you." So yeah.
Sony there was one other game on there too that I was. Oh yeah, we already talked about Spider-Man. That was the last one.
Yeah,
I'm hyped for this.
So Spider-Man looks great, and like I said, it's. I'm hoping that they kind of try to tie it into the whole Homecoming thing, to try to make it like because Sony owns Spider-Man. Obviously that's their IP, and they're leased to Marvel right now for Homecoming. So Homecoming's going to be Marvel's crack finally at Spider-Man, because obviously we saw him in, if you guys haven't seen it or not, but in Civil War we got to see Spider-Man first, the Marvel version of it.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
So I'm hoping that Marvel has their hands in crafting this game and we don't just see another, because I'm sorry that I played several of the past Spider-Mans. They haven't done it. They just
I mean, there's been a couple
some
of
good ones. There's been some bad
fun
ones.
enough. Some of them were fun enough.
I mean, the
I loved Ultimate Spider-Man on the PS2. That was the last one.
The last one I can remember playing, I think, was possibly Super Nintendo. It was the Wrath of Carnage, I think. Yeah, Maximum Carnage. That was the last one I enjoyed, like fucking hell, because you got to play as fucking Venom. Come on.
You get to play as Venom in the one I was talking about too, Ultimate Spider-Man.
I don't know if I played
it's on PC. It was also on PS2 and the Xbox original.
Yeah.
And
I know I played
you could be Venom part of the time, you use Spider-Man part of the time.
I know I played the one that was like the time dimension Spider-Man thing, and I'm like,
that one's not great. I picked up that one.
It was so bad. It's so bad.
I was just I wanted to play that for years. I finally saw it on PC. I just never got around to getting it on console.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good, and I didn't even beat it. I played maybe 45 minutes of it.
Yep.
Like, this isn't very good.
So let's go ahead and wrap it up. God damn, am I good at keeping you guys on a schedule here? I'm kidding. It wasn't really my fault. I just
I'm about to say, because I'm usually the only one watching the clock.
Yeah, but
I was watching it too.
timing worked out great. But let's go ahead and go around, give our final thoughts. Favorite game of E3, and one game only, gentlemen, and the reason why.
I don't think I have just one.
Do I have to pick one? Really?
Come on. You guys can narrow it down. Just the first one that comes to your head.
Prey. I think Prey is the one that did it for me, like the most. I think that's the one I have the most hype for still. Horizon Zero Dawn is close.
Kev?
But Prey.
I'm thinking just one.
Yeah,
just one.
Just first one that comes to your mind. Go ahead.
South Park.
South Park.
South Park.
Mine is not going to be a surprise to anybody. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Peasantry. They showed a bullshit trailer.
They showed a bullshit trailer. I'm still fucking hyped. Still the highest hype. I that was the one where they left me saying like I was the prom date that got left on the doorstep with my lips puckered, ready for that kiss, and never fucking got it. So I'm
the kiss you were waiting for. Come on, this is EA.
Yeah, right.
It's more than a kiss.
And I got left hanging on the doorstep. But yeah, so that's my thing. Andromeda, hands down, is the one I'm most hyped for. But there was so many great showings that grabbed me. Like I said, Horizon Zero Dawn. The Resident Evil VR experience looks so fucking great. So great. I'm excited for that one. The one that Travis mentioned, Prey, that's the one. Prey looks great. Xbox,
sure. You named like 5 games.
Yeah, no. I gave one game.
Okay.
I gave one game.
Best cinematic experience, best gameplay experience.
Cinematic.
Well, cinematic Mass Effect, definitely Mass Effect.
Yeah. This Zyphon saying Dishonored too. He wants to kill people. You heard it here first, guys. Zyphon wants to kill people.
You know, I feel like it was probably best that I didn't watch these trailers beforehand, because we would be way over time, because I have much more to say about them.
Yeah. But so that's it. You heard it here first, guys. Mass Effect Andromeda won EA, and these guys' opinions don't matter on that.
Come on now. I still say Windows 10 won. Out of everything, Windows 10.
I will say the best thing on there was the Play Everywhere. Like that. Yeah. I'm totally down for that. Microsoft, kudos on that. Just fucking keep your shit on like open to Steam, open to GOG, whatever. Keep it open to the whole platform.
Go to GOG. I don't see Microsoft going GOG.
Yeah,
not no DRM, not Microsoft.
They'll have to have their fucking bullshit, like copyright nonsense in there. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think Steam for them is going to be a huge reach. Well, I think actually not a huge reach because they're going to do it.
Well, because
it's a huge jump for them. Like,
the thing is,
GOG is, I think, just we're going overboard, pushing it over, and saying, we get everything we want.
Yeah, because Gaben hates Microsoft, doesn't he?
No, he hates Sony.
No, yeah, he hates Sony. He doesn't like Windows. He has expressed concerns on Windows 10.
Right.
He has, and that's why one of the reasons why he made major pushes to Linux with the Steam OS is because he supposedly had concerns with Windows 10. Obviously, Steam OS kind of flopped, which is depressing because I want Steam OS to succeed. I want competition. Give me more competition because competition drives innovation. I want Steam OS. I want Linux in general to be a bigger competitor in the gaming scene. Fuck Mac OS X, sure, why not?
The problem with Mac OS X is never going to be competition in the gaming scene because it's proprietary.
It's not just that; it's because Apple doesn't give a shit about gaming. Really, their idea of gaming is on iOS.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
well, then you saw they said like a while back that an iPad is the only computer you'll ever need, and I'm like, that's just high quality peasantry.
Yeah, it really, really is. All right, gentlemen. So, any final thoughts before we sign off for the night here?
Like I said, the Windows 10 showing was glorious. Can't wait to play Gears on my PC. Oh yeah, and shout out to Joe because I heard he got a substantial upgrade to his PC.
He got
I assume
himself a nice 24-inch 1080p monitor, good solid monitor.
Got a new CPU as well, a new
Yep.
motherboard. So he will be joining us finally off of that 900p peasantry.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yep, and hopefully he will be a little bit more joining us next week. We'll find out. Anyway, Travis, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I need to play more video games. Yeah, PC is coming next. What's the date right now?
It's the 19th.
June 19th. I'm gonna be spending
all his money on guns and cars. We already know, man. Guns, cars, and girls.
I'm gonna be spending a little bit of money on July 4th.
For bullets, because July 4th, it's the America Freedom Day. Got to go fireworks with bullets.
I'm gonna have to
off his lawn.
I'm gonna have to, try and resist buying a whole bunch of fireworks this year. I think.
Oh,
peasantry.
we have to tease Travis so much.
Get an upgraded monitor where I can watch fireworks on.
He doesn't.
At this point, just buy the tower.
Yeah, get started on the PC first, then worry about the monitor later.
Right,
I just have
big gun for you.
But yeah,
put it on your TV, damn it.
Oh,
I'll be the guy that has the window tower with like dual Titans sitting in it, no monitor, no peripherals at all, just the tower, and you walk into my house and it's just sitting there.
I don't waiting for a 1080 because if you wait for a 1080 to become available, you won't ascend.
Yep.
Get a 906 card.
But so in any case, go ahead and close up here. Obviously, you guys should be familiar enough with us by now. We're the deranged personalities that are here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on the Pixel Crashers podcast. And you can follow my channel on here to see us live with little face cams here. Or if you prefer to check us out with some gameplay footage while you listen to the podcast, head over to Kev's channel over there. There'll be a link down in the description below. There's also a link to a few of our social media stuff and to our Discord channel where you can chat with us throughout the week. We definitely always welcome new people to check us out in there. And we'll go ahead and sign off this week, and we'll catch you guys all next week on the Pixel Crashers podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to get him on stream doing that.